fight to see who are
just the different are the ones who are currently under. Look at them, they've developed a couple of really impressive players. Ang Piai Tun, for example, is favoured top three. Shahir as the main Takong, Shazreen Kamar, who's the scurrier feeder, and Khairul Zaman, who has been the man at striker. That's their strongest three.
It's the strongest three, and they're going to ride them all the way through. As we can see there, absolutely faultless passage through the group stages. They've announced their pedigree here. It's not that many familiar names, but they've been looking very good over the first 2 days, and they're going to stick mainly with the starting three.
As for Myanmar, again, they've got a main three, and Piai Tun as the striker has been impressive, but I've been looking this way, and he's probably the weakness if Myanmar do have a weakness.
He's reasonably solid, but there's nothing flashy about his services at Tekong, and that's where they could be found out. But they've gone through very well so far. They pushed Thailand reasonably close, managed to beat a very good Indonesia side in a really, really close match, 23-21. That one went to extra time, as it were, to decide who made it through to the semi-finals. And as you can hear, they've got
team announcements. Sepaktakraw, but then we're going to get down to some really intense 21 in each set. For Malaysia, so often in the past, this Malaysia regu that marks them out is a little bit different.
I think the proof of the pudding is going to be today how they do against the almost untouchable Thai regu. And this is going to be a real acid test for them. You've got Shazreen Kamar that we've talked about before. He's the captain, the water carrier. He's going to be a very interesting to see how 18-year-old Shah of your screen there. He can be very good. He can also be very nervous. If he comes out and shows and prove that they are the genuine rivals to Thailand.
Thai referee in charge, Utom Pati Myanmar, keeping it as neutral as they possibly can. The officials haven't had it too difficult so far, but now, once you get into the semi-final stages, the stakes go up an awful lot, and it becomes fun, In the past,
one involving Malaysia, where it was in Thailand, and Korea ended up walking off. Let's hope we don't have that today.
Here's the starting three. Shazreen Kumar, the feeder. Shahir Rosdi, the tall Tekong, the teenager. Khairul Zaman, watch him floating in the air. The striker for Myanmar is how he serves today could be the difference between the teams. So Wim is a reliable water carrier or feeder. Malaysia in the blue, Myanmar in the orange and yellow. Wouldn't miss them on a dark night. The purple, you can log on to sepaktakraw.org. If you're not watching on TV, we do have a live feed going. You can join us there with news, views, interviews. But in the end, it's all about this. It's all about the game. Myanmar versus Malaysia. Shazreen.
Absolutely ideal start for Malaysia. You see Myanmar, and then a first spike there from Khairul Zaman. 1 for 1 already after the first point.
Service from Ong Myo Sui.
If you're watching for the first time, then you don't get double faults in Sepaktakraw. You only have one bite at the cherry, so...
And two service errors back to back. It's an 0 for 3.
0 for 3, and then I've just said you don't get double faults, but if you miss 2 in a row, then that's a double fault in front of his home crowd.
So nerves can play a part. Let's see if the team... Save, set, block, second spike is good. Piai Tun with the point.
Won that point. I think the crowd gave it away there. Wonderful block there from Karol Zaman at the net, but a second bite at the first spike, that will give Myanmar a lot.
Oh, Karol Zaman, after wonderful defensive work from Shazrin Kamar.
That really showcased what is best about Sepaktakraw. Defence is turned into attack in the blink of an eye, and look at that. Put away.
Tasty start, tasty.
First point won on service.
Oh, he's kept it alive. 4 attempts to win the point. This is terrific stuff.
It was end-to-end stuff. With the one criticism that people occasionally have about Sepak at the end of it, but that was amazing attack and defence from both teams. This match is going to go all the way.
Up in the air when he does that back spike. Shazrin, Karol Zaman, alive. Alive again. Alive again.
And the crowd is alive. Oh, that was absolutely amazing. Desperate defence turned into to-end stuff. The save, the set, the spike, turning attack into defence on either side of the net both times. Myanmar have dragged it back to posturing at the net as well. We've got it all.
And a good strong.
We were a little bit worried to begin with whether Onyo Sway, who we're seeing there, the number one, would have what it takes on service. That was an excellent service, but up until now his teammates have been keeping the ball alive. We've had a lot of long rallies, longer than we're accustomed to.
Karol Zaman, wide.
Point to Myanmar. I thought that Ong Kyeto made. Well, there's a turnaround. It was 4-2 to Malaysia. It's now 5-4 after a 3 for Myanmar. You lose more points than you win on your own service. Winning all 3 in a row is very big.
It's an ace. He took a little bit of pace off it. So
Absolute beaut right on the line. Question today is whether Shahir Rozdi is going to get nervous or if he's going to keep his calm. With a big crowd totally against him as well, the stakes are very high.
oh, it's another ace. Entering at the moment, Drew Lilly.
He is. Second verse, same as the first. Look at that, exactly the same one that curls in between the two of them and lands right on the line. In pegged back from 5-2 to 5-all, and then he steps up to the plate. Big services, fast. One more to come.
So long as you stay ahead in your own serves, 2-1. It's not too shabby.
A bit of a fluff, but still did very well indeed there.
And that's the weak point. You look at No Sway, and it's all reliant upon him, isn't it?
He's a 70%er. He's not going to lose you that many.
Shazrin, Karol Zaman.
Just getting a little bit more energy in their game there. That just bounced in front of the attempted save from Kyae Soo Win during at the net. They really are up for this match. This is to see who are against Thailand in the final if Thailand make it.
0 for 3 on that service sequence. 3 serves and then it reverses to the other side of the net.
This coming right after a set of 3 where Shahir Rozdi served 2 aces.
Karol Zaman, Shazreen Kumar. They're just having to work 2 and 3 times to get the point.
Some of the best rallies I've seen definitely at this tournament so far. Shazreen Kumar, his defensive work has been absolutely wonderful. He puts Karol Zaman to put it away at the net.
Early substitution for Myanmar. The man coming in is Tant Zin U, a youngster, sorry, a veteran. 28 years of age.
Well, that was a substitution that they made yesterday in the crucial group match.
That's one of the advantages of being 189 in height.
You can take the pace off it, see a lot of, look at the way that came down. It's almost like a curveball in baseball. It went from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, dipping all the way down.
Baseball band. Different analogies, Mr. Lilly, please.
Appealing to a worldwide audience.
Shazreen, Karol Zaman.
I tell you what, you have to feel sorry for Tanzin Oh, who's just cut ball alive there. And in the end tried a block. But at the moment, it's Karol Zaman who is dominating the net. Myanmar have been forced to change strikers early doors.
Well, that ends a sequence of points in which Malaysia had won 8 out of 9. So Myanmar at least back on the scoreboard. But it's a big deficit, 5 points.
Because at the moment it's Karol Zaman who's getting the better of the exchanges. 2 good services in a row there from services that were unreturnable. They don't count as aces, but they're as good as dragging his team back into this.
Couldn't keep it alive, but the old 1-2-3 from the team in blue.
It was the Tekong, the big fella, the number 23, Shahir Rozdi, beautifully over the net for Karol Zaman, and there was nothing that Tanzin Oh could do to keep that alive, trying his best at the net, but they are losing the battle of the strikers at the moment.
New sequence of 3 points on the serve. Too much on that from Shahir.
That's where he'd managed to serve 2 aces before, and obviously there's different defence now. It's Tanzin Oh who's there rather than Ong Pietun. Tanzin Oh's a lot smaller, maybe that threw Shahir Rozdi too much on it.
Tanzin Oh is also standing a little bit further forward. The guy on the right is, what, 3 feet or so ahead of the Tekong, cutting off that space.
A wonderful spike there to give a little bit more momentum back to their team. It looks absolutely wonderful as you see it in ultra motion there, but he doesn't quite clip it. That came off.
The top of the tape, that's the perfect serve. You keep telling me they mean this.
They do. It may look lucky, but look at the way it's hit. It will carry over. That is a perfect service. There's no let in this game. That's an ace.
Timeout has been called. Each team is allowed 1 timeout. I would suspect it's a Myanmar timeout. Would you be saying, if you're the coach, if you're Ong Zo, what are you trying to say? In English, please.
Exactly. I'd be saying dominate the net. I'd be saying get up there. Striker for the Malaysian team, 7 out of 8 success. Slightly better for Malaysia. There's nothing you can do about the service. other than defended, obviously. But on the spike, try to throw up some double blocks. You can have two people trying to block at the net. You can even have the triple block that we've occasionally seen Korea do. Just give them something different to look at.
Spiking rate 5. You're doing a good job. Malaysia leading 15-9. Myanmar on serve. Khairul Zaman. They're up for this, Malaysia.
Khairul is Zaman at the net, but that was absolutely, and he put within about 20 centimetres. Great work.
Shahir to Khairul Zaman. To coin a phrase, he remains Zaman.
Well, this time it was Shahir showing that he's got more than one string to his bow, but the striker now 9 spikes out of 10. Calling the timeout hasn't seemed to.
Shazrin, Khairul. Wow, 3 in double figures.
A hat-trick there, and he enjoys that at the net. Absolutely perfect set once again from Shazrin Kamar, the captain. And look at that. That is the sunback spike, right-footed over the right shoulder. The sun on your back as you go up for it. Down he comes, springs.
Power in the serve, 71 kilometers an hour.
Anything above 70 is very difficult to defend. We'll see the ties later on. Jahir Rosdi using his height, 1.89 m, so that foot of his is coming down from over 2 meters high, getting great speed on it.
Well, he put plenty of beef behind that.
It was rather, yes, it was high, wide and not very handsome. He's serving at an 80% clip, which is fair enough. Maybe decided to have a little bit of an experiment there with that one. And there we have the substitution. You're allowed 2 substitutions per set. Players can go off and back on to replace Tanzin Oh. Maybe a clever time to take the substitution there when the opposition's in the middle of a set of 3. It gives the server, the Tekong, a little bit more time to wait. Puts him off his rhythm, maybe.
Khairul Zaman. Called in on Khairul Zaman.
Indeed, and when you're ahead and you've got the catches it very well on the instep. Attempted block there from Ong Pietun, but that sets up 9 set points.
2. And Tiga, the touch over the net. Malaysia take the set, 21-11.
12th spike, a round dozen there. It counts as a spike even though it was just caressed over with the sole of the foot. Out anticipated his opposite number, Ong Pietun, from Shazrin Kamar. He's in the background, but he's been doing all the water carrying work there and then tapped over, as we see in all this.
A splendid set for Malaysia. They quietened the crowd for a while. This one looked like it might be a really difficult one. In the end, taking the first set, 21-11.
Myanmar could well struggle Ong Kiao, but they're going to have to rely on this man here, Ong Myo Sway, who only served at putting the Malaysians in any danger. They did their level best at the net. A bit of posh flicks for the players who were on there, and the crowd certainly. It was that man, Khairul Zaman, at the net who stepped up, and there he may well posture at the net.
Let's have a look at the key statistics, and you look at that, the spike winners is the key difference. Malaysia, 8 spike winners. Khairul Zaman at the net, winning that battle against Ong Pietun. In terms of serving and serve rate, not too much difference between the two, but the quality of the serve doesn't really come into play in statistics. But Malaysia have taken this one and relatively comfortable. That poses well for this good Malaysian Ragu.
Exactly, because they're relatively inexperienced. We're seeing the one on the right there, the number 4, Shazrin Kamar, is the captain. We've seen him over the last year of Super Series, but he's only 20 years old. On the left we saw briefly Khairul Zaman, and then, yeah, focusing on the captain here. He is the fulcrum of the team. But the fact that they've got an 18-year-old Tekong, Shahir Rosdi, who is stepping up, seems to be unflappable. In one of the group games, he managed to serve at around a 90% clip, and all of his services are good. He's not just popping it over the net with interest. He actually puts a bit of fizz on the ball every time he serves. So I think Myanmar are going to have their work cut out in this second set.
So as this second set, many problems to solve. They've got the crowd, they've got the spirit, but they need more consistency. They need the ball. So it's almost ABC, you need to start again. Rip it up and start again.
Serve well, return well, spike well. You'll be fine.
Malaysia to serve. Malaysia in the blue, Myanmar in the multicoloured.
One thing that Malaysia are going to have to watch out for is the fact that Shahir Rosdi can't get out of a rhythm. And he seems to be unflappable, but there are times when he'll come out with a couple of service errors, and they don't want to get behind the 8 ball in terms of the scoreboard.
The set from Kuaso Win, just too much infinitesimal.
And the fact that he was having to put that, usually they set it up absolutely on a sixpence, and there, Ong Pietun. A shame there, that was a real opportunity for them.
To explain, a sixpence is an old English coin.
Scoreboard incorrect, that should be reading 1-all. It'll be changed any second now by the and
so 2 service errors from Shahir, and that little
almost like a timeout. He has to recompose himself, seems to make good contact with it, but that's 2 out of 3, 2 faults out of 3. He can waver between 70 and 90%, and of course you don't get a second service in this game.
Khairul Zaman. The block is long, the point Malaysia's.
It was a good attempt at a block from Ong Pietun, the number 4. They didn't win a point, but at least he's saying, look, I'm at the net, I'm sticking a leg out. You're not going to walk all over me at the nets here. Ankle to ankle.
Low, spinning, angled, like one of those serves in tennis that just keep on going away.
Exactly, it was one of those. It was the slice service, and it literally was sly from the person trying to defend it.
Same style, different result.
Exactly, tried a little bit too much. That is the problem for Ong Myo-sui. He hasn't really got that many weapons so often, and he's pushing himself to his limits, trying to clip the lines.
I think that's a great point. This fella is pushing himself to his limits. The serving is not an easy skill, and height. But even with the height, it doesn't always work out right.
He's all smiles, and he seems to be unflappable in the stages. There were times when he'd be around 70%. At the moment, he's serving, he's down to 63%. He's made a lot of teams unflappable. Maybe he needs someone to light a bit of a spark underneath him. And it's lit a spark under the Myanmar crowd. Four faults on service out of 5. You have single fault, double fault. We're on to a triple fault, a quadruple fault. There is, of course, another Tekong on the bench, as we speak.
Okay, if you're going to have a go at him, Lily, if you're going to have a go at him.
That one out. There we go. I'm the number 1, he says. So, manages to drag that one back. He's only winning 1 out of 3 at the moment, but he's keeping his team in there. And when he gets back on a rhythm, woe betide.
Satu duo tiga.
2-3 punch. All 3 players involved there, absolutely perfect, right above the center of the net. And then we see perfect point of contact there in between the outstretched leg of his opposite number and
perfect. Error, but you're looking at Malaysia, and Karol's a man, he's got both the roll spike and the sunback spike. Normally players have one or the other, he has got both.
To be able to do two is amazing, being able to play left-handed and right-handed.
The block from Shahir.
The big man, the Tekong, steps up to the net. Usually it's the strike, it's an 89, then look at the length of leg he can stretch out, and that is an absolute perfect.
It's Malaysia's first block winner. 6'2", he plays in blue. Shazri live. Karol beats the double block, and Malaysia are flying.
That point gave me goosebumps. It was end-to-end stuff. Came straight back over the net, and Shazrin Kamar defeated Myanmar, and then when Shazrin Kamar's got time to set it, absolutely on the sunback spike, right foot over the right arm, and they all enjoyed that one, all three of them up at the net there. So much so that a timeout has been called by Myanmar.
And you can understand it, because Malaysia are responding. It really is. They're under pressure here, because Myanmar, they've got the effort, but Malaysia are answering everything, even that dodgy patch.
Well, Myanmar have only won 1 point in this set so far. They're 5-8 adrift, but 4 of them were handed to them on a plate from service faults from Shahir Rosdi. So they've only actually won 1. The other 4 were given 8 points outright. They've been the ones dominating the rallies. They've been the ones spiking. Shazrin Kamar has been setting it up to absolute perfection here, Rosdi, but the defensive absolutely beautifully. And Karol Zaman's been putting away. He's already up to 16 spikes, Karol Zaman, and we're barely a third of the way through the second set.
And there's an enthusiasm and a youthfulness about him and about the team. But they've responded in this ISTAF Super Series.
Yes, you say there's a new coach taking over from Jamaluddin. He wants to put his mark on a team, and he wants.
From Ong Myo Sway, and So Win involved as well.
In orange, the confidence, it got the crowd going as well. The timeout came at
Myanmar.
They were close for half of the first set and then ended up running away for them. They took the time point, and the crowd will really be behind them.
Instead, a 7.
He's 1.89 m, and that right foot of his is coming down from way over 2 meters, and it comes down at a 40-foot ball.
Change for Myanmar. Change of Tekong. We're going to see To Ong Kyo replacing Myo Sway. And that seems actually quite small. He looks taller than that.
It's a conservative 180, isn't it? Yes, he's a mere 19 years old, but they need him to come up trumps here.
Shazrin. Karol Zaman.
Being hypercritical, it wasn't the greatest of sets from Shazrin Kamar, and obviously with the change of Tekong, the ball came over at a different angle. It was saved slightly differently. Maybe this change of Tekong will enable them to bag a few points using the element of surprise.
A little bit too enthusiastic in his goading. Shazrin. It's 1-1 with Myanmar.
Exactly, and Do Ong Kyo there was spinning around after that point was won. It was a wonderful fist. He's injected some energy in here. A block there right at the limit of the net from Ong Pye-tun. Not allowed to go over it. And the crowd's right at the limit here.
Went wide of the post, so it can't count.
I tell you what, Coach Ong Zo must be saying, yep, brilliant decision of mine to bring on the 19-year-old. He's just gone 3 for 3. Hearing at the net from To Ong Kyo. The crowd, as you can hear, right behind them. Back to 9-all. Pressure now on this fella's shoulders.
Kid's got it.
Pressure, what pressure? Again, it's like a curveball going away, and there's absolutely nothing there that Ong Pye-tun can do to keep that one alive.
Baseball band, Lily, baseball band. It's long. Win one, lose one.
That is what he's been in the second set, the big fella. Clip at the moment, and that is the problem with him. He can get out of a rhythm. 9 points he's given away. No second service in this game.
Save, set. The set hurt, so when he'd done the hard part with the save.
By the net, that was far too far away. It was in mid-court, and there was nothing. Grins a bit sheepishly. They need to take all of their chances, Myanmar.
Shazrik serve at 68 kilometers an hour. He's up for it, the crowd's up for it.
The crowd certainly is up for it, and you at Tekong, and you're wondering to yourself, oh, Shazrin Kamar, be careful there. You're wondering to yourself, why on earth hadn't we seen a little bit more of...
Carroll, defense into attack. It's in.
Ooh, the net from Ong Pye-tun, but wonderful work from Shazrin Kamar. He got his back to the net. He was all 20 centimeters away from the net at a perfect height.
18 spikes successful for the man at the far side of that picture, Carroll Zaman. And a service error for the first time from Ong Kyo.
Served at a very good clip so far, and his services have all been dangerous, so I think we'll allow him that one slip amongst friends. But the thing is, they need to be perfect from here on in, all the way in. And if they aren't, it won't be for lack of support from the crowd right behind them.
Shazrin, Carroll, clever.
Once again, Carroll Zaman, they need to try something else at the net, Myanmar, because at the moment, it's merely Ong Pye-tun going up with a single attempted block. Should they try a dox on occasion, they need to throw something else, because at the moment, Carroll Zaman is taking the match right away from them.
The block, 19 spikes, that's now 4 blocks.
This fella can do it all. He gets all the way up there, or the calf actually, and the ball just dies on the other side of the net. Nothing you can do about that, Takraw. It's now 4 points the difference. Malaysia only 6 points away from victory and a place in the final.
It's wide. It's an error. It's not far from being perfect.
It was very, very close, and not clipped the line, not quite. Shahir Rozdi, when he's a few points clear, he will throw in the odd, gives away the odd point where he thinks, well, I've got a bit of a cushion.
On Kyo back, watching the live stream. You're watching on broadcast, you can catch up with news, views, interviews, scores, results, historical references to this wonderful sport that we're introducing, and a timeout has been called by Malaysia.
Well, they've called a timeout. They've got one timeout. You're allowed 1%. So they've left a timeout. They might as well use it. And they've taken it out of 3 that Do Ong Kiao is serving. So he's only a youngster. This means he's got a minute and a half, 2 minutes in which to get nervous again. Think about what he's going to have to do here on home soil, and that they're pushing the highly fancied Malaysian Regu all the way. But they're going to serve wonderfully well since he came on. 6 out of 7, and all 6 of those have been real bullets, given the Malaysians something to think about. They've won most of the points on his service. He's just got time to get nervous here. You see him there, the number 5, trying to get limber. Thought, we'll give Myanmar something. Let's see how Do Ong Kya copes with the fact that he's just had a 2-minute break. Can he get the...
Ayah!
That set of 3 services. Now out of his comfort zone and then told him to go straight back into this white-hot pressure cooker atmosphere. They've just bought themselves a crucial point.
This now becomes pivotal, this point. Pivotal. Khairul Zaman. It's scrappy, but it's on Myanmar's side. The point Malaysia. They lead by 4.
Khairul Zaman saved it. A big tangle of limbs at the net, but everything is going the way. Oh,
Net as well. A change of Tekong for Myanmar. Last chance saloon. Khairul Zaman, 19 points so far. Malaysia 4 points away. On serve. Shahid substitution. Straight into the play. Oh, miscommunication.
That's what happens when you're staring down the barrel there, just about there, and then it was, not me, you, no, oh. They will whenever the ball comes to the net, you can almost guarantee that Khairul Zaman will score a point. You know that Shazreen Kamar will keep it alive and set it well.
That's cute, that's very cute.
It was a very, very good set from Kya So Win because he was backpedaling there, but sets it up beautifully over the net, and then the little slap, the little pat with the sole of the canvas shoe there, that just, it's like away from the attempted block from Khairul Zaman. Am I allowed tennis?
Occasionally.
It's a ball and a net sport. Got to give me that one.
Well, a bullet-like serve. A big man, 66 kilometers per hour off the tape.
And it clipped the tape. That is absolute perfection. Gusto by Khairul Zaman.
.43 touch the finishing line. The finishing line.
That was almost an ideal service. Tried to go the other way. He tends to cut as he is looking at it. Tried to go the other way, couldn't get it over the tape.
Khairul Zaman. Satu, Dua, Tiga. Malaysia take it into.
1, 2, 3. All 3 of the set. There we see the set to perfection from Shazreen Kamar. Back spike from Khairul Zaman. 20 spikes. He's got a score of spikes in this match. 20 spikes, 3 blocks, 2 from the man we're watching in all his ultramotion glory there at the net.
Malaysia take this one, 21-11, 21-14. Set times of 20 minutes and 24 minutes. But as these highlights will show, it was the team in blue who just in with spikes. But early on, this looked like it could be one of the classic games because every point seemed to go to 3 or 4.
Between sets where you go up to 15 the first 2 seasons, and then ones that go up to 21, which tends to be the way of the Sepaktakraw world. And there you get the ebbs and the flows. Really nip and tuck, 5-all, 6-all. So that's probably the one thing that Malaysia had consistently good at the net, particularly Khairul Zaman with his 20 spikes, and he's only registered 3 blocks. I think there were even more than that, but they dominated the net overall. Some scurrying defense from Myanmar, and they changed things 5-6 times, which is really the maximum you would expect in the men's game in Sepaktakraw. Wonderful play throughout. They were the more consistent team, particularly that man there.
Spike winners, 13 from Malaysia, 5 from Myanmar. Spike percentage rate, 91%. They're probably the 2 big differences. The service the Tekongs effectively counting each other out or cancelling each other out, but Malaysia have taken this one and they've taken it in straight sets in 44 minutes. Malaysia through to the final. Who will they play? Well, that is up next. Thailand versus Singapore in the second semi-final coming up in just a few minutes time. This is ISTAF Super Series from Naypyidaw in Myanmar, semi-finals day. Malaysia are there. Who will join them? Find out in just a few minutes time. Don't go too far away.